What if I told you that the battle for your blood sugar isn't won at the dinner table, but in the first 30 minutes after you open your eyes? Most of us are losing this battle before we even pour our first cup of coffee, and we don't even realize it because we're looking in the wrong place. We often assume that if our fasting numbers are high, it's because of a late-night snack or a heavy dinner. But there is something absolutely shocking that endocrinologists rarely have time to discuss during those rushed 15-minute office appointments. Your body undergoes massive, tidal shifts in hormones between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. This natural biological rhythm can send your blood sugar skyrocketing without you eating a single bite of food. This phenomenon happens to almost every diabetic on Earth. Yet so many have no idea it's actively sabotaging their glucose control daily. The medical establishment knows about this critical morning window, but the standard advice is usually just take your medication or eat less. They aren't shouting about the natural interventions that can intercept this spike. What you do in those precious first moments after opening your eyes can either trigger a metabolic disaster that spirals out of control, or it can set you up for perfect blood sugar stability that lasts for 16 hours straight. We aren't talking about complicated medical protocols requiring expensive equipment. We are talking about simple morning habits backed by peer-reviewed research that cost absolutely nothing to implement starting tomorrow. Thousands have discovered these secrets and watched their fasting glucose numbers drop significantly within just 2 weeks. Big Pharma makes billions keeping us dependent on medications, while often ignoring these powerful natural interventions that address the root metabolic dysfunction. Today, we are going to break down 3 specific, science-backed protocols. We will start with a foundational habit that most people get wrong, move to a movement strategy that acts like a metabolic key to your cells. And finally, we will reveal the #1 absolute game changer for your morning meal that contradicts what we've been told for decades. You need to hear the ultimate game changer, #1. So please, stay with us until the end. Just a quick, important reminder. All the information shared today is for educational purposes. Everyone's health situation is unique. So please consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet, exercise, or health regimen, especially if you have pre-existing conditions or are on medication. Let's use this knowledge to have informed discussions with them. Now, let's unlock the first step to reclaiming your mornings. Let's begin with something that sounds deceptively simple, yet it is the bedrock of metabolic function. We call this essential foundation. #3, the cellular re-initialization. Have you ever woken up feeling groggy, your brain in a fog, even after a full night's sleep? You might check your sugar and see it's higher than when you went to bed, and you wonder how that is possible when you haven't eaten anything for 8 hours. During those 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your body has been incredibly active. You've been breathing out moisture with every exhale, sweating, and producing urine. You will emerge from sleep in a state of meaningful dehydration. For a senior managing blood sugar, this is critical because dehydration effectively concentrates your blood sugar. To truly grasp how this works, let's use an analogy. Imagine your body as a high-performance engine, and your blood is the oil. When you are hydrated, that oil flows smoothly, lubricating every part of the engine. But when you are dehydrated, that oil becomes thick, sludge-like, and viscous. If you have a teaspoon of sugar in a cup of water, it's sweet. If you evaporate half that water, it becomes a syrup. That is essentially what is happening in your bloodstream when you wake up dry. The challenge goes deeper than just concentration. When your cells are dehydrated, the liver, your body's glucose warehouse, gets confused. It senses that blood volume is lower, and in a panic, it dumps more stored sugar into your bloodstream to ensure you have energy to wake up. This phenomenon is called hepatic glucose overproduction, and it is a primary reason fasting blood sugar stays stubbornly elevated. Furthermore, your kidneys, which act as the filter to remove excess sugar through urine, cannot function efficiently without adequate fluid volume. They need water to push that excess glucose out. This means that reaching for coffee first thing is a mistake. Caffeine acts as a mild diuretic. It flushes fluid out when you desperately need to keep it in. You are essentially accelerating the dehydration right when your body is crying out for moisture. The solution, our essential foundation #3, is to drink 16 ounces of plain warm or room temperature water within 5 minutes of waking up. The temperature matters more than you might think. Ice-cold water can shock the digestive system and slow down absorption. Warm water, on the other hand, relaxes the digestive tract and dilutes that sludge immediately. It signals the liver that hydration levels are normal, so it can relax and stop dumping panic sugar into your blood. It gives your kidneys the fluid they need to start filtering out the excess glucose efficiently. Now, when it comes to this specific hydration strategy, it's especially important to listen to your body. If drinking 16 ounces feels like too much volume all at once, start with 8 ounces and work your way up. And for those of you with heart failure or kidney conditions where fluid intake is restricted by a physician, please stick to the limits your doctor has set. Our goal is hydration, not fluid overload. This simple act of re-initialization thins the blood, lowers the concentration of glucose, and prepares your cells to accept fuel. It's the first step in telling your body, we are safe, we are stable. Once you have rehydrated the engine, you need to turn the ignition key. This brings us to metabolic key number 2, the AMPK activation protocol. Here is the hurdle many of us face in our prime years. We wake up stiff. Our joints hurt. The inertia of sleep is heavy. Biologically, something else is happening that makes this inertia dangerous. Around 6 a.m., your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone, to wake you up. Cortisol naturally makes you a bit insulin-resistant temporarily. It's a survival mechanism to keep sugar in the blood for immediate energy. However, in diabetics, this natural resistance doesn't just switch off. It lingers. You might sit at the kitchen table, read the paper, or check your phone for 30 minutes. During that time, the sugar stays trapped in your blood because the doors to your muscle cells are effectively locked. There is a common misconception that you need to go to the gym or do a high-intensity workout to burn off the sugar. But actually, high-intensity exercise in the morning can backfire. It releases more stress hormones, which can spike your sugar even higher because your body thinks it is under attack. So, how do we open the doors to the cells without insulin? We do this by activating an enzyme called AMPK. To understand this, let's look at a toll booth analogy. Imagine your muscle cells are a parking garage. Usually, to get the glucose cars inside, you need a ticket collector named insulin to open the gate. In the morning, the insulin collector is on a break. He's slow, groggy, or just not working well due to that morning resistance. Traffic, which is your blood sugar, backs up on the highway. Movement, specifically gentle movement, acts like an automatic ease-a-pass. It bypasses the ticket collector entirely. When you move your muscles, the AMPK enzyme opens a side gate, allowing glucose to flow into the muscles independent of insulin. It clears the traffic jam without needing the ticket collector to wake up. Therefore, metabolic key number 2 is to engage in 10 minutes of gentle movement before you eat breakfast. The timing is crucial. It must be before food. Walking is the gold standard here. A leisurely 10-minute walk around your living room or out in the garden activates the large muscles in your legs. These muscles contain the highest concentration of glucose transporters, and they are hungry for fuel. Research shows that just 10 minutes of this low-level activity can lower blood sugar by 20 to 40 points. It also lubricates those stiff joints and signals to your liver that you are using energy, so it stops producing more. Now, safety is paramount here. If you have balance issues or struggle with mobility, you do not need to walk briskly around the block. This can be done seated. Gentle marching in place while sitting in a sturdy chair or simple leg extensions can achieve this activation. If you experience any dizziness or pain, stop immediately. We are looking for gentle activation, not exhaustion. By combining the hydration from our first insight with this movement, you have effectively thinned the blood and opened the cellular doors. You are now primed, but now you face the most dangerous trap of the morning: breakfast. This leads us to the most critical intervention of all, the one that contradicts the heart-healthy advice we've been fed for 40 years. This is the ultimate game-changer number 1, the protein anchor. Let's be honest about the typical American breakfast, especially for seniors. We've been told to eat oatmeal, whole wheat toast, maybe a banana, and a glass of orange juice. We think we are being good. But here is the harsh reality we need to face. For a diabetic, Eating a carbohydrate-heavy breakfast after an overnight fast is like throwing a lit match into a warehouse of fireworks. Your body is in a state where it is most sensitive to carbohydrates. If you eat toast and oatmeal, your blood sugar doesn't just rise, it rockets. And because of the morning insulin resistance we discussed, your body can't bring it down quickly. You crash 2 hours later, get shaky, crave more sugar, and the roller coaster continues all day. Furthermore, overnight, your body has been in a catabolic state, breaking down tissue for energy. If you don't provide amino acids, which come from protein, your body will break down its own muscle. For us over 60, preserving muscle mass is the holy grail of metabolic health, because muscle is the primary place we burn sugar. Therefore, we must flip the script completely. We need to introduce the campfire analogy. Think of your metabolism as a fire. Carbohydrates, like toast, cereal, and juice, are like crumpled up newspaper. You throw them on the fire, and whoosh, you get a massive, hot flare-up. It's intense, dangerous, and it burns out in minutes, leaving you cold, low blood sugar, and hunting for more paper. Protein and healthy fats are like a dense, solid oak log. You put that on the fire, and it doesn't flare. It catches slowly. It burns steadily, providing consistent, warm heat for hours. It anchors the fire. The ultimate game-changer number 1 is to consume 25 to 35 grams of high-quality protein within 30 minutes of waking, and ideally after your water and movement. Why is this specific number so powerful? GLP-1 slows down stomach emptying. It tells your brain, we are full. It blunts the spike of any carbohydrates you might eat later. It creates what scientists call the second meal effect, meaning that eating protein at breakfast actually improves your blood sugar response at lunch. The best source: eggs. 3 whole eggs provide about 20 grams of perfect protein and healthy fats. Add a side of Greek yogurt or a handful of walnuts, and you hit that magic 30-gram number. Of course, dietary changes are personal. If you have an egg allergy or are managing cholesterol under strict doctor supervision, you can opt for other sources like lean turkey sausage, tofu scrambles, or a high-quality whey isolate protein shake. The goal is the protein content, not specifically the egg. Always adjust to your specific dietary needs. By eating protein first, you are placing that oak log on the fire. You prevent the spike, you protect your muscle mass, and you keep your energy stable until lunch. And there you have it, the ultimate game changer. Number 1. It might seem counterintuitive to trade your toast for eggs and your coffee for water, but as we've explored, the impact it can have on your daily stability is truly remarkable. That is why we saved it for last. So, let's recap this morning ritual that can transform your health. First, we start with essential foundation number 3, drinking 16 ounces of warm water to re-initialize the system and fix the viscosity of your blood. Next, we unlock the cells with metabolic key number 2, using 10 minutes of gentle movement to activate AMPK and bypass insulin resistance. And finally, we secure our stability with the ultimate game changer number 1, eating a high-protein breakfast to trigger GLP-1 and anchor our blood sugar for the rest of the day. Each one is a stepping stone. You don't have to do them all perfectly tomorrow. Maybe you start with the water. Then, next week, you add the walk. Which of these insights? Perhaps it was the hydration strategy, or the movement key, or even that protein revelation resonated with you the most. Which one are you thinking of trying first? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share them in the comments below. If you found this journey through these health discoveries valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps others find our community. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more powerful strategies tailored for our fantastic group of healthy seniors. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and keep thriving.